Hello, and welcome to English in Fluency, the channel where we help you learn English in a simple, useful, and real way. I'm your host, Alex, and I'm so happy that you're here with me today. If you're someone who wants to genuinely improve your English speaking and listening skills, then you are absolutely in the right place. Today's episode is titled Stop Studying, Start Speaking. This is an incredibly important topic for so many English learners, especially for those of you who might feel a bit stuck at the intermediate or B1 level. Perhaps you understand English well when you read books or watch videos, but when it comes time to actually speak, you might feel nervous, confused, or even completely silent. Does that sound familiar? If so, please don't worry, because you are definitely not alone. Many students around the world feel exactly the same way. They diligently study grammar, vocabulary, and various exercises, but they just don't feel confident when it comes to speaking. And the reason for this is often quite simple. They are studying too much and speaking too little. This episode is specifically designed for B1 level English learners who are ready to stop just studying and truly start using English in real life. Speaking isn't merely something we do after we study. It is, in fact, how we genuinely learn. In this episode, I will talk about why traditional studying methods are often not enough, why speaking is the real, undeniable key to fluency, how you can begin speaking today even if you don't live in an English-speaking country, and some simple, actionable tips you can use every single day to practice your speaking. This episode will be easy to understand and packed with practical ideas you can implement right now. So, sit back, relax, and listen carefully. You can also feel free to repeat some sentences after me if you wish to practice your speaking as you listen. Let's embark on this transformative journey together. It's time to stop studying and truly start speaking. Now, let's address something incredibly important, and, for many of you, a very common frustration. The traditional ways most people learn English and why these methods often fall short when it comes to developing confident speaking abilities. When individuals begin their English learning journey, they frequently follow a path that emphasizes passive learning. Perhaps you've experienced this yourself. You might invest in a comprehensive grammar book, spending countless hours meticulously learning complex tenses like the present simple, past perfect, and future continuous. You strive to remember every intricate rule and dream of using them flawlessly in conversation. Then, your focus might shift to building an extensive vocabulary. You dedicate time to creating long lists, perhaps diligently writing down 20 or 30 new words daily, convinced that knowing more words will automatically unlock your speaking potential. You might also commit time to reading English novels, watching movies with subtitles, or immersing yourself in English songs, believing that exposure alone will lead to fluency. While all of these activities are undeniably beneficial for comprehension and passive knowledge acquisition, there's a significant and often overlooked problem. Most students spend almost all their time studying English, but they don't actually use English in a productive, active way. They don't speak. They don't actively try to engage in conversations, even simple ones. They wait until they feel perfectly ready, until they know every rule and every word. But here's the honest and sometimes difficult truth. That elusive feeling of being completely ready may, in fact, never truly arrive if you continue to wait. You might find yourself asking, with genuine frustration, "But I study so much. I know so many words. Why can't I speak?" This is an incredibly common and deeply frustrating problem that I hear from countless learners. Many express the exact same sentiment. I understand English perfectly when I listen or read, but I simply can't speak it. And it's true. You might effortlessly follow a complex Hollywood movie, grasp every nuance your English teacher explains, or understand challenging English articles with ease. But when the moment arrives for you to articulate something yourself, to express your own thoughts, feelings, or ideas, your mind suddenly goes blank. You find yourself struggling to recall even simple words. You feel a paralyzing shyness. You're overwhelmingly afraid of making mistakes. And you simply don't know how to organize your thoughts into coherent sentences. This is not your fault, and it doesn't mean you're not intelligent or working hard. This happens because traditional studying is often only half of the journey. It's the input, but it lacks the crucial output. Let me illustrate this with a simple analogy. Imagine for a moment that you aspire to become an excellent swimmer. You eagerly watch countless YouTube videos demonstrating various swimming techniques. You devour books detailing how to perfectly move your arms and legs, and you even meticulously learn the names of all the different swimming styles: freestyle, backstroke, butterfly, breaststroke. But, and this is the critical point, you never actually get into the water. Do you genuinely believe, deep down, that you will become a good swimmer by only studying? Of course not, right? The very same principle applies directly to learning English. You can meticulously study grammar rules, you can memorize vast amounts of vocabulary, but if you never actually use the language, if you never immerse yourself in the act of speaking, you won't become a confident, fluent speaker. English is not merely an academic subject you passively study, like mathematics or history, where understanding concepts might be enough. English is a living, breathing language. It is a dynamic tool you use to connect with other human beings, to express your deepest thoughts and emotions, to share your unique ideas and experiences. And the most effective, most profound way to truly learn a language is by actively using it, especially by speaking it. Many students mistakenly believe they need to achieve a state of linguistic perfection before they can dare to speak. They think, first, I need to study more. I need to know all the tenses perfectly. I need to learn 1,000 more words. Then I will start speaking. But this idea, while well-intentioned, is fundamentally unhelpful. In fact, it actively sabotages your progress and prevents you from truly growing. The profound truth, the undeniable reality, is that you become better at speaking by speaking, not by endlessly postponing the act until you magically become perfect. Here's another simple yet powerful example. Think about how babies learn to speak. Do they attend grammar classes? Do they create meticulous vocabulary lists? Absolutely not. They listen intently to the sounds and words around them. They babble. They repeat what they hear. They try to speak. And they make many, many delightful mistakes. But slowly, gradually, through this active process of trial and error, they get better. And this is precisely how our human brain is intrinsically designed to learn languages. By doing, by actively producing and interacting, not just by passively studying. Furthermore, many traditional English classes place a strong, almost exclusive emphasis on writing and grammar tests. In school, You might consistently earn excellent grades because you can write well-structured essays or ace grammar quizzes. But when you encounter a native speaker in a real-life situation, or when you need to articulate something spontaneously, you suddenly feel lost and unable to apply what you've learned. This clearly demonstrates that knowing English and using English are two fundamentally different skills. So, if you are currently spending all your valuable time studying grammar and vocabulary, but still find yourself struggling to speak, it's definitively time to change your approach. It's not that you aren't smart, and it's certainly not that you aren't working hard. You are simply not practicing the specific skill you genuinely want to improve. Speaking. The main message here is crucial. Studying provides the bricks and mortar, but only speaking can build the house of fluency. If your ultimate goal is to speak English fluently and confidently, then you absolutely need to prioritize and practice speaking every single day, even if it's just for a few minutes. Don't be afraid. Don't wait. Start small. Start today. In the next part of this episode, I will tell you why speaking is the real key to genuine learning and how it can permanently change the way you learn English. Now, let's talk about one of the most important, indeed, the most vital aspects of learning any language: speaking. Speaking is not just another skill. It is truly the pulsating heart of language learning. If your deepest goal is to speak English well, then speaking must unequivocally become your primary, your main activity. But why is speaking so profoundly important? Let me explain in detail. First, we must remember something very simple, yet often forgotten. Language is fundamentally for communication. The main purpose of any language, not just English, is to enable us to connect with other people. We use language to articulate what we think, how we feel, and what we want. We use it to ask questions, to tell captivating stories, to share our unique opinions, and to deeply understand others. And how do we accomplish all of that in real time, face-to-face or voice-to-voice? We do it primarily by speaking. So, if language is fundamentally designed for communication, then speaking is the most natural, the most direct, and ultimately the most useful way to practice it. Think about how you use your own first language every single day. Do you spend most of your time reading grammar books in your native tongue? Of course not. You talk to people. You listen actively, you speak, you answer spontaneously, and you react in real conversations. That's what real dynamic communication truly looks like. Now, let's think deeply about how children learn their first language. This is an incredibly powerful and illuminating example that holds crucial lessons for us as adult learners. Children do not begin their linguistic journey by learning complex grammar rules or by meticulously memorizing endless vocabulary lists. Instead, they listen intently to the sounds, words, and sentences spoken by the people around them. They hear their parents, family members, and friends speaking every single day. They hear the same words and phrases repeated again and again within meaningful contexts. Then, fueled by curiosity and an innate desire to connect, they slowly and bravely start repeating those words themselves. At first, they speak very slowly, using only a few, often incorrectly pronounced words. But over time, through constant exposure and tireless repetition, they get better. And this is precisely how our human brain is intrinsically designed to learn languages: by doing, by actively producing and interacting, not just by passively studying. Furthermore, Many traditional English classes place a strong, almost exclusive emphasis on writing and grammar tests. In school, you might consistently earn excellent grades because you can write well-structured essays or ace grammar quizzes. But when you encounter a native speaker in a real-life situation, or when you need to articulate something spontaneously, you suddenly feel lost and unable to apply what you've learned. This clearly demonstrates that knowing English and using English are two fundamentally different skills. So, if you are currently spending all your valuable time studying grammar and vocabulary, but still find yourself struggling to speak, it's definitively time to change your approach. It's not that you aren't smart, and it's certainly not that you aren't working hard. You are simply not practicing the specific skill you genuinely want to improve: speaking. The main message here is crucial. Studying provides the bricks and mortar, but only speaking can build the house of fluency. If your ultimate goal is to speak English fluently and confidently, then you absolutely need to prioritize and practice speaking every single day, even if it's just for a few minutes. Don't be afraid. Don't wait. Start small. Start today. In the next part of this episode, I will tell you why speaking is the real key to genuine learning and how it can permanently change the way you learn English. Think about acquiring other practical skills in life. Imagine you want to learn to play the guitar. Can you truly become a skilled guitarist just by reading books about music theory, watching videos of famous musicians, and memorizing chords? No. You must physically pick up the guitar, feel the strings, and practice playing it, making your fingers ache and your chords sound terrible at first. Or imagine trying to drive a car. You cannot learn it simply by watching YouTube videos of driving lessons or reading the traffic laws. You must sit in the driver's seat, hold the wheel, and actually drive, navigating real roads with real traffic. Speaking English works in precisely the same way. The only way to genuinely get better is to practice with your mouth and your voice, not just your eyes and your brain. When you speak, your brain works in a very special, active way. It begins to connect words, phrases, and grammar structures naturally, creating neural pathways for production. You stop overthinking about rules, and you start instinctively using the language, recalling patterns rather than consciously applying rules. The more you speak, the faster your brain learns to find the right words and phrases, enabling quicker and more spontaneous communication. Over time, speaking becomes progressively easier, more fluent, and much more natural. Additionally, speaking significantly helps you remember words better. When you actively use a new word in a sentence out loud, incorporating it into your own thoughts and expressions, you are far more likely to retain it and make it your own. It becomes an integral part of your active vocabulary, ready for use. However, if you only read or write the word, it may remain stuck in your passive memory. You might recognize it when you see or hear it, but you struggle to recall and use it effortlessly when you speak. Many learners feel intensely shy or are profoundly afraid to speak. They are deeply worried about making mistakes, fearing embarrassment or judgment. But this fear, unfortunately, acts as a major roadblock, stopping them from truly growing and advancing. You must grasp this fundamental truth. Mistakes are an integral and absolutely necessary part of learning. Every single good English speaker, even highly proficient native speakers, makes mistakes sometimes. Do not wait to speak only when you feel absolutely perfect. that day may genuinely never come. Start speaking today with whatever English you currently know, no matter how limited it feels. Use simple words. Use short, basic sentences. That is precisely how you build real, lasting fluency, by starting where you are and consistently building. Even speaking to yourself helps immensely. When you talk out loud in English, even when you're completely alone, you are actively training your brain, your tongue, and your voice to work together as a cohesive unit, coordinating the complex processes of thought, articulation, and sound production. This is incredibly powerful practice. You don't always need a live partner or a dedicated teacher to speak. You just need the courage to try. So, to sum it up, language is for communication, and speaking is unequivocally the best way to practice it. Children learn by speaking, not by studying. And you absolutely can too. You do not need perfect grammar to speak. You just need to start. The more you speak, the more confident and fluent you will become. Speaking is not the final step in your learning journey. It is the main, central, and ongoing part of your English journey. If you truly want to become a good speaker, you must speak. There is no hidden secret formula. Just speak more every day, and your English will grow. In the next part of this episode, we will delve deeper into the importance of making mistakes, explaining why they are not a sign of failure, but a powerful tool for rapid progress. Let's confront something head-on that stops so many people from speaking English: the persistent, often overwhelming fear of making mistakes. This is a significant and widespread problem. Many English learners simply don't speak because they are terrified of saying something wrong. They are afraid someone will laugh at them, correct them harshly, or simply not understand them at all, leading to embarrassment or discouragement. Perhaps this exact scenario has played out in your own mind, or even in a real situation. You want to express something important, but then you hesitate, you stop, you think, what if I say it wrong? What if I use the wrong word? What if I make a terrible grammar mistake that exposes my lack of knowledge? So, regrettably, you choose to stay silent. But here is the profound, liberating truth. Making mistakes is not bad. In fact, making mistakes is good. Let me repeat that, because it's a paradigm shift for many. Mistakes are good. They actively help you learn. They powerfully help you grow. Every single time you make a mistake, you gain invaluable information and learn something new. You instantly understand what works and what doesn't, what sounds natural and what doesn't. You remember the correct way much, much better next time, because the mistake created a strong memory pathway. A mistake is not the end of your progress. It's a vital, necessary step forward on your learning journey. Think again about how children learn their first language. They make mistakes constantly, with joyful abandon. They say funny things, use wrong words in wrong contexts, and construct hilariously incorrect sentences. But do they stop speaking because of these errors? Absolutely not. They relentlessly keep talking, keep experimenting with language, keep trying. And that is precisely how they improve. By making lots and lots of mistakes, learning from each one, and refining their language as they go. It's exactly the same for you, as an adult learner. You are learning a new language. You are not supposed to be perfect from day one. Perfection is not the goal. Effective communication is the goal. Your job is to speak, to try, and to express yourself as best you can with the tools you currently possess. Even if you make mistakes when you speak, something incredibly powerful happens in your brain. Your brain processes the feedback. It registers, "That didn't sound right. Let's analyze and fix it." And then it remembers the correct way much more effectively than if you had just passively memorized a rule. This is how real deep learning occurs, not from mere rote memorization, but from actively doing, getting feedback, and correcting. Let me give you a concrete example to solidify this idea. Imagine you bravely try to say, "He go to school every day," and someone gently and kindly tells you, "Ah, just a small correction. It should be, he goes to school every day." Now, because you spoke, put yourself out there, and received immediate contextual feedback, you will probably remember this specific grammar rule, the third-person singulars, far, far better than if you had simply read it in a grammar book or seen it on a flashcard. Why? Because it came from real experience, from an active attempt at communication, not just from passive study. Furthermore, when you make mistakes and bravely keep going, when you refuse to let the fear stop you, you build something fundamentally important: confidence. You learn that mistakes are not dangerous. They are normal. They are expected. And they are an intrinsic, unavoidable part of the learning process. The more you speak and make small, learning-oriented mistakes, the less afraid you become. And that, my friend, is precisely how true confidence blossoms and grows, like a strong plant pushing through the soil. You might still think, "But people will laugh at me." The truth is, most people will not laugh. In fact, most people will deeply respect you for your effort in trying to speak a second language. They understand it's not easy, and they admire your courage. And if, by chance, they do laugh or correct you in a way that feels unhelpful, please don't worry about it. It's genuinely okay. Use it as an opportunity to learn. Smile, acknowledge the feedback, and keep going. Remember this powerful thought: the only people who never make mistakes are the ones who never try. If you are making mistakes, it means you are trying, you are learning, and you are actively moving forward. That is absolutely something to be proud of, something to celebrate. You don't need perfect English to speak. You need brave English. The kind of English that is not afraid to be wrong. The kind of English that is honest, natural, and used every single day, just like a child uses their native tongue. So, next time you feel a knot of nervousness about speaking, take a deep breath and say to yourself, "It's okay to make mistakes. Mistakes help me learn. Every mistake is one step closer to fluency. If I don't speak, I don't improve. So, I will speak. Speak in class. Speak with friends. Speak to yourself. Speak into your phone. Just speak. Each and every time you speak, even if you stumble or make small errors, you are getting better. You are building muscle memory for your mouth and brain, and you are paving your path to fluency. In the next part of this episode, we'll shift our focus to practical strategies. How to create your own effective English-speaking environment, even if you live in a non-English-speaking country or don't have English-speaking friends readily available. Let's learn how to intentionally surround yourself with English, so speaking becomes a natural, effortless part of your daily life. Now that you profoundly understand why speaking is so vital, not just beneficial, and why mistakes are actually powerful tools for your learning, you might be wondering, "Okay, Alex, I get it. But how do I truly start speaking today? I don't live in an English-speaking country. I don't have anyone readily available to practice with. What exactly can I do in my daily life? That is an excellent, incredibly practical question. And here's the incredibly good news, a truth that will empower you. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment or the perfect partner to begin. You can genuinely start speaking English today, right now, by yourself. There are many highly effective ways to practice speaking and build your confidence, even if you're completely alone in your home or simply on the go. Let's talk about some simple yet profoundly powerful methods you can start using immediately. One of the easiest and most powerful ways to start speaking is to actively talk to yourself in English. Yes, really. This might sound a little strange or even feel awkward at first, but it genuinely works wonders for your fluency. You can speak English to yourself at home, in your room, while cooking, driving, or even walking. You can describe aloud what you're doing, what you see around you, and how you feel. For example, if you're cooking, narrate your actions. Now, I'm chopping the onions, or I need to boil the water for the pasta. If you're walking, describe your surroundings. The sun is bright today, or I see a big friendly dog running in the park. When you talk to yourself, you're practicing vocabulary recall, applying grammar rules in real time, and building fluency, all at the same time. You also become significantly more confident with forming sentences quickly and naturally without the pressure of a listener. This is your safe space to experiment and make all the mistakes you need. Another fantastic way is to proactively find a speaking partner. You don't necessarily need someone who speaks perfect English. You just need someone who shares your genuine desire to practice and learn, just like you. The Internet is a treasure trove of opportunities. There are many apps and websites specifically designed for language exchange, where you can connect with native speakers or other learners around the world who want to learn your language while you learn theirs. Platforms like Italki, Tandem, or HelloTalk are great starting points. You can also explore language learning groups readily available on social media platforms like Telegram or Facebook. Once you connect, you can use video call platforms like Zoom or Skype to set up regular weekly speaking calls. When you talk to someone consistently, your speaking skills improve remarkably fast because you're getting real-time interaction and feedback. It's also a truly enjoyable and motivating experience to share your learning journey with someone else. If you're not quite ready for live, real-time conversations, or if your schedule doesn't permit it, try using voice messages. This is a brilliant intermediate step between talking to yourself and speaking live with someone. You can send short voice messages in English on popular messaging apps like WhatsApp, Telegram, or other platforms. Find a friend or a language group and start sharing small messages. Say, "Good morning," talk briefly about your day, or share your thoughts about a specific topic. This method provides you with valuable time to think, plan, and even re-record before sending your message. It actively helps you practice pronunciation, intonation, and sentence structure at your own pace. It also gives the other person a chance to reply at their own convenience. It's a low-pressure yet highly effective way to practice spontaneous English. Another excellent technique is called shadowing. This means you listen intently to someone speaking English from a video, a podcast, or an audio clip, and then you repeat exactly what they say right after them or even at the very same time. You consciously copy their pronunciation, their natural intonation, and their rhythm. It's like becoming their linguistic shadow, mirroring their speech. This powerful practice helps you train your mouth, your tongue, and your ears to sound more natural and fluent. Start with short sentences or phrases. Pause the audio and repeat slowly at first. If the audio is too fast, simply slow down the playback speed if the platform allows it. With consistent practice, your pronunciation, intonation, and overall fluency will improve significantly. You can do this with your favorite YouTube channels, audiobooks, or even podcasts like this one. And here's another incredibly powerful tip, one that many learners tend to avoid because they don't like the sound of their own voice. But this is honestly one of the best ways to rapidly improve your speaking. When you record yourself speaking, you become much more aware of precisely how you speak. You'll notice your pronunciation errors, your speaking speed, and your grammar usage. You can then attentively listen back, compare your speaking to native speakers, and consciously work on the specific areas you want to improve. Don't be afraid to hear your own voice. It is your personal, unbiased learning tool. You can record a short story, express your opinion about something, or even keep a daily diary entry in English by speaking into your phone's voice recorder. Try it just once a day for a few minutes, and you will undoubtedly see significant progress in your self-correction abilities. All of these methods encourage you to practice actively, not just passively. You're not merely listening or reading, you are actively using the language, producing it with your voice. You are speaking, and that is how genuine, lasting fluency is built. By consistently using English regularly in real-life scenarios, even simulated ones, not just by studying rules from a book. So today, I sincerely invite you to choose just one of these methods and start. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait until you feel perfectly ready. You are ready right now. Speak to yourself. Record your voice. Find someone to exchange messages with. Start shadowing your favorite English speaker. These are seemingly small steps, but they lead to truly massive changes in your confidence and ability. You don't need a perfect environment to begin. You can create your own English world right where you are. Make speaking an integral, non-negotiable part of your daily routine. Even just 10 minutes a day can make a monumental difference over weeks and months. So, are you ready? Pick one way and speak today. Now that you've learned some practical and actionable tips to start speaking English every day, let's delve into even more specific, actionable ideas for daily practice and talk about the immense power of consistency. Many learners often ask me, how can I practice speaking English every single day without running out of things to say? They understand that speaking is crucial, and they genuinely want to improve. But they don't always know what to say, how to begin, or how to maintain consistency when life gets busy. If that sounds like you, please don't worry. I've got you covered with some simple yet effective strategies you can implement immediately, even if you're practicing alone. Let's begin with one of the most powerful and straightforward things you can do. Speak about your day for just 5 to 10 minutes every day. This means you choose a specific, consistent time, perhaps in the morning to plan your day, or before bed to reflect on it. You simply talk out loud about your day. You can describe what you did, how you felt, what you liked, what was challenging, or what you learned. You don't need to be perfect, just speak freely. For example, today I woke up at 7 a.m. I made coffee. Then I went to work. My boss gave me a new task. I felt a little nervous, but I tried my best. Later, I had lunch with a friend, and we talked about our weekend plans. This is real-life practical speaking. It helps you remember useful, everyday words and phrases. It also helps you connect your English directly with your real world and experiences, which is an excellent way to grow your fluency naturally and meaningfully. Next, you can describe things around you in English. Look around your room, your office, or wherever you are. What do you see? Try to describe everything aloud, using full sentences. For example, I see a white chair in the corner. It looks comfortable, perfect for reading. There is a wooden desk next to the window. On the desk, there is a silver laptop, a black notebook, and a blue pen. When you practice like this, you learn vocabulary naturally, associating words with the objects you see. You also use important prepositions like on, under, next to, between, in front of, which are essential for describing locations and relationships between objects. You can do this while walking outside, too. If you go for a walk, talk about what you observe. The sky is clear and blue today. There are two birds flying high above. A man is riding a bike quickly down the street. I can see many green trees and some colorful flowers. This is easy, fun, and a fantastic way to practice thinking directly in English, without translating from your native language. Another powerful practice idea is to ask and answer your own questions. This may sound a little funny at first, like you're talking to yourself, but it's an excellent way to prepare for real conversations and build conversational flow. You can pretend you're talking to someone else. For example, ask yourself, "What's your favorite food?" And then answer, "My favorite food is pizza. I love the rich cheese, the sweet tomato sauce, and the crispy crust." Then, ask a follow-up question. "Why do you like it so much?" And answer again, "I like it because it's comforting, versatile, and always tastes good with friends." You can practice common conversational topics, like your hobbies, your job, your family, your favorite movie, your plans for the weekend, or even current events. The more you practice asking and answering yourself, the easier real conversations will become, as your brain gets used to forming questions and responses quickly. This is how you train your brain to think spontaneously and reactively in English. Sometimes we feel stuck, not because we don't know what to say, but because we don't know how to start. So, try using simple, pre-prepared phrases to help you begin your speaking practice. For example, you can start with, "Today, I want to talk about food eaten," or "Let me tell you about my weekend." Logically, or "Here's what happened today." Logically, or "I have a funny story to share." Logically, or "I'm feeling happy today because..." Zrenia, or "I'm thinking about." These starters act as a gentle push, helping you begin your speaking practice without overthinking or getting stuck on the first sentence. Once you start, words will often begin to flow more easily. Even if you make mistakes, that's perfectly okay. The ultimate goal is to speak and build confidence, not to be perfect. And here's something incredibly important to remember. You don't need a long time to practice to see results. Just 5 to 10 minutes a day is absolutely enough to make real, significant progress over time. The key, the absolute non-negotiable factor, is to be consistent. That means doing it every single day, without fail, even if it's just for those few minutes. Speaking English daily, even for a small amount of time, will help you feel more comfortable, more natural, and much more ready to speak with others when the opportunity arises. You can also use your phone to support this habit. Set a daily timer for 5 or 10 minutes and simply start speaking when it goes off. Use a voice recorder app to track your practice and listen back later. Some learners even create an English-speaking diary, where they record short audio entries instead of writing. For example, each day they might begin by saying, "Hello, this is my English speaking practice for date. Today, I," and then continue from there. This is your private space. No one is watching. No one is judging. It's your precious time to grow and experiment. If you consistently do these simple things every day, speaking about your day, describing your environment, asking yourself questions, and using easy conversation starters, your speaking skills will undoubtedly improve. You'll notice that words come faster, you'll feel more confident, and one day, when someone speaks to you in English, you'll reply with a smile and natural ease, not with fear or hesitation. Remember, daily practice builds strong habits, and strong habits lead to real, lasting change. So, don't wait for a perfect moment. Start today. Speak a little, speak every day, and truly enjoy the process. You are not just learning English, you are building a new skill, a new confidence, and a powerful new way to express yourself to the world. In the final part of this podcast, we'll talk about how to stay consistent and motivated over the long term, even when you're busy, tired, or not sure if you're improving. Now that you've learned some practical and actionable tips to start speaking English every day, let's bring it all together by talking about sustaining your progress. This means understanding the deep importance of staying consistent and how that consistency will powerfully build your confidence and keep you motivated over the long run. Learning a language is not a sprint. It's a marathon. It can sometimes feel like a long journey, filled with ups and downs, but I want to emphatically remind you that small steps, done every single day, will inevitably lead to massive, undeniable progress. And that's precisely why daily speaking practice, even for short bursts, is so incredibly powerful. First of all, commit to speaking every single day, even if it's just for a few minutes. You don't need to spend hours speaking every day to see results. A mere 5 to 10 minutes of speaking daily, consistently, can have a huge, cumulative impact over time. Think of it like compound interest for your language skills. When you practice daily, you build a habit, and habits are fundamentally what make you successful in any endeavor. You don't need to wait for a perfect moment or feel like you have to dedicate hours to it. Just speak for those 5 minutes. If you consistently do this every day, you'll be genuinely amazed at how much your speaking improves. Remember, the ultimate goal is consistency, not fleeting perfection. Another critically important thing to keep in mind is that you don't need to be perfect to speak English effectively. Many learners mistakenly think they need to speak flawlessly, without any errors, but this paralyzing belief can often stop you from speaking at all. It's perfectly okay to make mistakes. In fact, it's more than okay. Mistakes are an inherent, unavoidable, and necessary part of learning any complex skill, especially a language. They are a clear, undeniable sign that you are trying, that you are pushing your boundaries, and that you are actively improving. So, please, do not wait until you feel perfect, or until you know every single word or grammatical rule. Start speaking now with the English you have, even if you make mistakes. That's truly okay. Speaking is fundamentally about communication, about conveying your message, and if people understand you, you're doing great. Mistakes help you learn and grow, so embrace them, learn from them, and bravely keep going. Speaking also powerfully builds your confidence. At first, you might feel a natural sense of nervousness or shyness, and that's completely normal. But the more you speak, the more comfortable, the more at ease, and the more natural you will become. Every single time you speak in English, no matter how small the utterance, you take a significant step forward. You're actively building confidence in yourself and your burgeoning ability to communicate effectively. Confidence isn't something you're miraculously born with. It's something you actively create and cultivate through consistent, courageous practice. Every time you speak, you are training your brain to feel more confident in your English skills, breaking down mental barriers one word at a time. Remember, you can do it. I believe in you wholeheartedly. I know it's not always easy, and there will be challenging days, but if you speak every day, even for just a few minutes, you will undoubtedly improve. Don't compare yourself to others' seemingly effortless fluency. Don't worry about being perfect. The most important thing is to speak. Don't wait for the right time or the perfect conditions. Those may never arrive. Start today. Speak today, and take immense pride in every single step forward, no matter how small it seems. So, I wholeheartedly encourage you to make speaking a consistent, integral part of your daily routine. Whether you're talking to yourself, recording your voice, proactively finding a speaking partner, or effectively using any of the other powerful methods we talked about in this episode, just do it every day. Be patient and kind with yourself, and remember to genuinely celebrate every bit of your progress. Thank you for listening to this podcast. I sincerely hope you feel inspired, empowered, and truly motivated to start speaking English every day. You truly have everything you need within you to improve, and I'm here cheering you on every step of the way. Keep going, keep practicing, and soon you'll look back and be amazed at how much you've achieved. Remember, learning English is a continuous journey, a wonderful adventure, and every single step you take counts. You're doing great, and I truly believe you can reach all your English-speaking goals. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of English in Fluency. I really hope you found these tips helpful, and that you now feel more motivated and equipped to start speaking English every day. Remember, the true key to significant improvement is consistent, active practice. Just start small, be brave, and over time, you'll witness monumental changes in your speaking skills. Now, I have a little challenge, a simple yet powerful next step for you. Pick just one speaking tip from today's episode, the one that resonates most with you or seems easiest to start, and try it right now, as soon as this episode finishes. Whether it's talking about your day, describing something around you, or asking and answering your own questions, just start speaking. The more you practice, the more comfortable and confident you'll feel. And remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just speak. If you found this episode helpful, I'd absolutely love for you to share it with your friends, family, or anyone else who is also learning English. The more people we can empower to speak with confidence, the better. You can share the podcast on social media, send the link directly via message, or simply tell someone about it. And of course, if you want to hear more helpful tips, practical advice, and engaging practice ideas like this, make sure to subscribe to English in Fluency. By subscribing, you'll never miss an episode, and you'll always have new ways to improve your English skills right at your fingertips. Thanks again for listening. Keep practicing. Stay motivated. And I'll see you in the next episode of English in Fluency.